Countdown clock on the overlay. Chat scrolling fast, can't read a thing. Got my day ones, got some new names. All riding in on this pixel wave. Scene switch quick, that raid just hit. Hype train glow with the stickers lit. I say, yo, fam, this our year. You spam those emotes, fill the screen in hell. Rocking in the new year on Steve's very own. Every fall like a firework blow. From the VODs to the live shows, oh, we're loud, we're here, we're here. Rocking in the new year on Steve's very own. From the lurch watch to the chat full blown. If you're in this stream, you're never alone. We're loud, we're loud, we're here, we're home. Take that shot when the timer drops. Hit go live and the beat just pops. Got bad jokes and my best friends, turning quiet nights into wild weekends. Pull up chairs in a digital room, turn that late night scroll to a full-on boom. I say 3, 2, 1, let's ride. You flood the screen, all caps in the sky. Rocking in the new year on Steve's very own. Every follow like a firework blow. From the VODs to the live shows, oh, we're loud, we're here, we're home. Rocking in the new year on Steve's very own. From the lurch watch to the chat full blown. If you're in this stream, you're never alone. We're loud, we're here, we're home. Type it out, let me see those hands in the chat all across the lands. From the small screens glow to the massive dreams, we're building this brick by brick as a team. New year, same crew, new place to own. New clips, new bits, new inside jokes. Turn it up till the neighbors know. Steve's very own, let the whole world know. Rocking in the new year on Steve's very own. Every follow like a firework blown. From the VODs to the live shows, oh, we're loud, we're here, we're home. Rocking in the new year on Steve's very own. From the lurch to the chat full blown. If you're in this stream, you're never alone. We're loud, we're here, we're home.
That's quite big. Impressive.
Click on the stream, light the spark. Steve's very own, tearing through the dark. Boom, my fingers on the keys. Old school rhythm, bend in the breeze. Building his world one clip at a time. Pixel by pixel, climbing the climb. No map, no guide, just the screen's glow. Steve's
Because she is
very
your boss,
own
and she is a woman. She is a strong, soft, thoughtful,
Hey chat, you there?
woman.
Hey chat, who cares? Steve's very own. Breaking the code. He's got the fire. Riding the load. Steve's very own. The crowd's his home.
All right. Good morning,
You
good
are enjoying
afternoon,
Steve's very own live.
and evening. Welcome to the stream. I hope you are enjoying my AI slap. That's what it was called the other day, AI slap. But you know what? If you don't know how to use it, you can't bitch about it. That's my point. Everybody's like, oh, I'm never gonna use AI. I'm never gonna. I'm not. I am such a man. I am not gonna use AI. Okay, fuck you. I mean, I don't know. It's like food. Had a discussion with a family member the other day talking about some food. They don't like a certain thing. Well, did you ever have it? No, I just know I wouldn't like it. Okay, fine. How do you know you're not going to like it? You're not going to like it. What's up, Nate? How you doing today? Thanks for being number one today. Um, welcome to the Sunday Coffee Klatch, where we just sit and talk and have some good chats. What went on during the week? I've got a few things that I was working on. You movies and series that I watched and a few podcasts that I listened to. It's a little like farmers complaining about the tractor. Yes, I'd grow bigger corn if I had a bigger tractor. I don't know. It's like people, if I had a better camera, I'd take better pictures. No, you'd probably take shittier pictures, but that's okay. Which is, I just check it out, see if it works. I, you know, saw a let's get some. If you're over on YouTube, you won't hear any music. We'll start off with greatest hits of the 80s today. How's that? But I saw a video by YouTuber and streamer extraordinaire Michael Fire talking about making thumbnails with Chat GPT and that. And I saw it because I actually saw a couple of them. I don't know. I thought I'd try it. Will I keep it forever? Probably not. I do like making my own, but it's just I do different things. The music, I can't write a note. And I don't think it's slap. I think it comes out pretty good. But do I use it to help me in certain things, like with code, a little bit of coding? I'm not a coder. But this I could do in OBS, but I made this with an HTML and JavaScript and all that, and I used ChatGPT to help me. I can decode them pretty well. I still have a hard time building them, but I get it to a certain point, and then I work on it and I change it to the way I want it. Do I ask it about real personal stuff or how to run my finances and that? Hell no. But yeah, if you don't, if you've never used it, don't comment on it. Actually, so Tuesday for my Toolbox Tuesday, we're gonna cover kind of streaming in Linux. I'm kind of getting back into that. I'm maybe a little bit sorry that I am. Damn workarounds. Now, if you just stream normally, do you call this normal? I got StreamerBot and I got a bunch of stuff going. I'm a different streamer, more variety streamer. I don't do shows or anything like that. So it works for me, and I get a lot of things, of course, to work really well in Windows. Getting the same stuff to work in Linux is another story. And I was covering that last Tuesday with talking about OBS and its browser docs and like docs that are used for VSTs because of Wayland and Ceph doesn't work. I couldn't get my voice changes for like my hologram and that work. I learned about Easy Effects, and which I've used on and off over the years. For those who don't know, Easy Effects is an audio thing that you can run, that you can use it to control your mic. You set your mic up to a certain spot, and whether you're in Discord, OBS, or anything like that, you'll have the same tone, same sound with your mic. You can set up, if you're listening to music, you can set up how you want it to sound. You can do an output. Well, I use VSTs in Windows. I was using them in Linux. If you're on an X11 system, you can, but most of the systems now are pretty much going to Wayland. There's an issue there. I like when I do a hologram or something and the voice changes. That's part of the show. Well, I've been learning. I've created a couple of voices in profiles in Easy Effects. Well, how do I get them to trigger in StreamerBot through bottles? It should be able to read a bash script, but it doesn't always trigger. Well, on Tuesday, I'll talk about how I got it to work, and with a little help from ChatGPT. So, yeah, I mean, where and I know, Nate, you've had plenty of discussions on it, and I don't go on a lot about AI. It's there where AI is going to be evil is in the corporate's hands with jobs and hiring and all that stuff. AI will never cover the human aspect really well, and that's where the evilness or the should we not say evil? Should we say that's where the improprieties can come out? So, but I don't hide the fact that I use it. I've tested out. I run it. I see what it's like, as we should. Got potential. It has helped me. Takes a while for me to grasp things these days. I don't learn things as fast as I used to. And, I get it to a certain point and it works. So that's it. So Tuesday, on Toolbox Tuesday, we'll be streaming from my Endeavor OS setup. And we'll cover StreamerBot and Easy Effects and some other things that may help you to stream. As far as what went on this week, been going to therapy for my hand. So far, the surgery hasn't done real well. My thumb, I still have no feeling in my thumb. To the point where, at least on Windows, I can deactivate the side click forward back buttons on the mouse through software. Unfortunately, I can't do that in Linux because I'll be sitting here and not realizing that my thumb is pushing the button. It's not about smart, it's about persistence. And I spent like over 5 hours yesterday trying to get what I got to work. you know. Oh, 5 hours, only 5 hours. Well, 5 hours is a long time sitting at a desk. You know that, right? Um, why is my deck keep going out? Wonder if it's. I love my, to digress here a little bit or change the subject. I got this beautiful new tablet that was on sale. It's a Lenovo. Lenovo's are, as far as like the ThinkPads are a Linux thing. It's an odd shape. I mean, it's not an odd shape, but it's 11 and a half by what? So the aspect ratio is a little off. But look at this. Look at the speakers. It's got like a real dynamic. This thing, I don't need headsets. I don't need a Bluetooth with this. This thing, it sounds fantastic. What sucks on it? Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is actually absolutely horrible. Now I did some changings. I did some changes in this room. This is our front upper bedroom. We have 3 bedrooms up here. This is the front towards the front of the house. This is where our modem has been for years, and we always lose good connection downstairs. I'm not going to be networking stuff all over the place, but the way I have things set up, I'm like, you know what? I had been thinking about it. I'm going to move the modem downstairs where we do 90% of our Wi-Fi. Everything up here is hardwired. When my son sits at this desk, he's got his own little cord. I got it set up to a little switch. Desktop, the laptop I have monitoring the stream, all hardwired and all that. So we're good. And my master bedroom is above where the modem is, so the connection's okay. But I'm in the front room here, and this is the first time I've seen this cutting out. This Lenovo tablet, it's the Tab S. Got it on sale, kind of expensive. It's like 4K and all that. Spent all this time and all this money making a nice sound system, but the Wi-Fi sucks. Absolutely. I can actually be near the modem. My phone will get over, close to 200 megabytes download near the modem. This thing only gets like 60, 70, which is enough, right? But now you stretch it out and it really drops and all that. So I use Touch Portal for my deck. And it's first time that I've seen this keep cutting out, so I don't know what the heck's going on. But it was bothering me. So we'll keep an eye on that. But anyway, yeah, so I moved the modem downstairs, and I already had a hard wire going down to the family room where the TV is. Yes, a TV can pick up Wi-Fi and all that, but... Bongo 1986, thank you for the raid. Hello, raiders, welcome. Codewood TD. Oh my. How are you guys? Welcome to the wacky chat. Just talking about bullshit. What's going on? Well, thank you, Bongo. Thank you, TD, for recommending. Fantastic. Nice way to start out my Sunday. That's why I like you, Twitch. Very nice. Thank you, TD. Here's a morning coffee for you. I'm going to drink it, though, because I can't give it to you. So we talk about, Raiders. I'm Steve, Steve's very own. I'm a boomer streamer. I've been streaming for about 7 years, mostly on YouTube. Started about not even 2 years ago. Oh, you don't like coffee anyway? Go away. dipped my toes into the world of Twitch and never looked back. I still multi-stream, but Twitch is my main platform, and that it's been a pretty good community. You don't drink tea either. What kind of Englishman are you? Oh well, you drink what you I don't care. You drink what you like, you know. It's just that's why I have anything. You bring your beverage of choice. I'm the coffee guy. He's not a very good Brit. Um, but I still do a little stuff in Linux. I was just talking about oh, cider. Yeah, cider can be pretty good, pretty sweet sometimes though. But it depends on the cider. But uh I had streamed for a number of years, like I said, on YouTube using at first when I streamed, I did it through Hangouts right to YouTube. No fancy stuff, no nothing. Then I learned about OBS, excuse me. The morning mess that starts with us old guys. And then I started learning about doing things and all that. Then a few years later, after streaming and doing stuff, I started learning about maybe a little bit more about automation. I learned about StreamerBot. Found out that I used Wine before, so it gave me a chance to learn how to do that. The install for Wine, you follow the wiki on the StreamerBot page. So simple, had it going. I was on Pop OS. But then I got tired of certain workarounds, and then some things started changing in Linux, and then Pop OS was changing, and then so I went to an Arch-based system, EndeavorOS, Wayland, and all this other stuff, and I got tired of the workarounds. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to put Windows back on my system. Much to my Linux friends, what? You know, no, my tablet's not working. What? Come on, Touch Portal. What's going on with you today? Got my connection right. Oh, man. I'll fix this in a minute. And yeah, and so many things work for streamers more on Linux. I mean, I've on Windows. But I decided to try to go back. So on Tuesdays, I'm covering on my EndeavorOS setup using StreamerBot and bottles. And one of the things that I had an issue with was I don't have a lot of voices in that, but it's nice to, like, when you go into hologram or some of the other things I have, to have a different voice. And VSTs are real easy on Windows, right? They're not so bad on Linux either. And I had this one Gralian 2 that worked fine on Linux that I can just do a pitch change, and that's all I needed. Well, you can't get the VSTs to work because of a problem on the Linux desktop with Wayland. One of is Wayland a compositor? I always forget. Stops OBS from creating custom browser docs, and then you can't use the Windows to open up the VST controls. So I was working with Easy Effects in Linux and working on profiles, and found out a roundabout way to get them to work on Linux. So that's what we're going to talk about on Tuesday. So that's what I do. Just a multi-streamer. Then on Thursdays, I do geoguessing, traveling the world, and from my desktop. Okay, why is Okay. I don't know, something's going on with my Wi-Fi today. The hard stuff is working really well. Excuse me. So I appreciate you guys streaming, rating. I hope you stick around for a little bit. But thank you, Bongo. Thank you, Code with TD. Got Cubicle Nate hiding over on the YouTube side. So I've been working on the Linuxy stuff for the week, and then still trying to keep, I talked about using a little bit of AI. It's called lazy this past week for using it, but can't talk about it if you don't really know how it works and use it. That's my opinion. We signed up. How do you guys do streaming platforms, for movie content and all that? I don't sign up for anything for a full year or that anymore. We do monthly. We go from streaming platform to streaming platform, and then we'll binge out, because when you go into it, there is nothing really that you need to sign up for Netflix, Amazon, or that for a monthly fee that you can't get, by the month. New stuff come out. Never been one to have to be the first one to watch it. So this month we're doing Netflix, and I'm a big fan of Mike Connolly's Mickey Holler, The Lincoln Lawyer. It's on season 4. It's been pretty good. What did I watch this week? Old Guard 2 with Charlene Theron. All right. Why do you keep going out on me? Touch portal could not connect. The network is unreachable. Well, my Wi-Fi is not off. Oh, that was everything. It figures everything started out so smooth this morning. I had everything all set up, ready to go, and then the tablet decides to start screwing up on me. That's what I get for moving the modem into another room. But the only thing that I need Wi-Fi is this tablet. Let's see. Restart touch portal. Let's restart the app.
No.
Okay. It keeps going out. But do you get distracted when you're streaming? It's like, oh my God. Oh. But let's see. Catching up on some of my podcasts. I take a break every once in a while from them, and I'll listen to an audio book, and then I'm just clearing out stuff I had saved from December, from Christmas. So I'm listening to some Christmas podcast. Currently, I'm listening to the Windows Central one. Just got done listening to OTC Linux with at least one of my friends is on there. And Gotta get caught up on Linux Out Loud. But one I listen to too is if you're into Linux a bit, Tux Jam. Look up Tux Jam. Those guys, they're some English and Scottish friends from across the pond that do a real good job in breaking down a software distro. A couple of them, I believe, are teachers, so they're really good at what they do. And then they'll play some royalty-free music. It's a podcast; you won't catch it on YouTube or all that, but they pick out some really good tunes. So check out Chuck's Jam if you like Linux podcasts and that. I also listening to Michael Rosenbaum's Inside of You. Michael Rosenbaum was Lex Luthor in the Smallville series many years ago, and he's been in some movies in that. But he does a real good podcast interviewing, mostly actors and entertainers and that. But they get to be pretty good. I listened to him and William Macy the other day, and what's his name from Hellboy. He was really good. That was a real good story in that. And then I like Katie Sackhoff from, if you watched Battlestar Galactica, the remake, Starbuck. She's been doing podcasts for a number of years or YouTube stuff, and she's had some good ones. There's a real good one with her and scientist, Tyson. That's really good. Excuse me, I have a penchant for forgetting names. My old timers come out pretty good. That's how I spend most of my time. Uh, when I'm not streaming and that, uh, being an Uber for my son, taking care of family stuff. Um, and then, of course, worrying about some of the crap that's going on here in the States. And, I try not to talk about it too much, but I can get carried away. So please forgive me for that. What is it you like to do in your time off, or when you're not coding, or when you're not doing streaming? What kind of stuff do you like? What is it that you like to do? I know Cubicle Nate likes to do some electronic stuff. He's been working on things. He's been building what have you been building, Nate? A system. Sleeping code with TD code sleeps. But yeah, sleeping's good, it's good for the health, right? I had um I had bought my wife one of these little kits. I got you know, my kind of studio, my man cave or so. I built my desk and repainted the room and all that. This is like our spare room. I only have my one son. And my wife's like, I want a little room. So we have a kind of a closet space downstairs. A good not really small, but it's just perfect for her. We made a cubicle for her, Nate. We'll call her Cubicle Steffi, but with a nice fold down desk platform and that she can hang out in. So all her electronics are out on the table and all that. And um, had built that for her, or put that together for her. We painted the room. Um, that's fun when you get to work with your hands. And there was a point I was tending to, but now I forgot. TD threw me off. Your fault, TD. But it's heading to a point. I don't you hate that when that happens? Oh, so we've been buying little knickknacks for her room and that, and I bought her one of these little. They make a bunch of the kits. They're like little rooms or kitchens or coffee shops and all that. And I bought her one that's a bookstore because she loves books and she works in a library. So we've been working on putting that together. It's very interesting on how the pieces of that go, and following the directions are relatively easy. And it's no glue except for some stickers and that, or there's little double stick tabs that you need to put on it and that. But we've been working on that. Uh, some of the stuff just don't click together right. It's like, oh. And then with my hands, I'm not good with fine things these days, especially with my right hand. I can't, you know, pinching. I'm doing the exercises. It's getting a little bit better, but my thumb doesn't twist. I can make a nice okay, but I can't do that with my right. But but it keeps me working on stuff, trying to use my fingers and all that, so I can have my motor control. Try to get my motor control back. Excuse me. Um, and then my son's dying. We were doing it as a family project and that, and he's got a nice. Forget what Lego kit he's bought, but he wants us to do it as a family, together. So that's the next project after that. Lots of projects ahead. A lot of it depends on how much I can use my hands. We've been in our house for 30 something years, and things are not. Their doors are falling apart and things like that. You try to take care of things, but it just happens with age. And then our house was a what they call a track home, not a custom home. It was a subdivision, and you go in and it's like buying your car, and you throw in, you pick out ones with different infotainment systems and sunroofs and all that. Well, that's what a track home is. Not custom, not semi-custom. They can change a few things, add an extra window here or a few outlets there, but that's about it. And in these track homes, it's on average construction grade quality that won't last forever. Even in custom home things, things will last a lot longer. That's why you pay, and it's so much more expensive for a custom home. But the wood and all that, and the cabinets just look horrible, and we got so much to do, you know. But a little at a time. I repaired. We have a cupboard pantry, small pantry with bifold doors, and all of a sudden was you couldn't close them and all that. Well, it's starting to bow a bit, and the middle bracket door hinge was coming loose, so I had to take that apart. Um, I like working with my hands. I'm not an expert in all that, and I've built some things really nice, and I've built some things really crappy. But it's just the fact that you know, as one gets older, you lose your motor skills, and you lose the ability to work on stuff, and it's like, God, I don't want to. I want to still be able to work. I got all this free time. I want to be able to work on stuff. You youngsters out there, my everything's fine. I'm okay. It'll happen, and then you go, God damn it, Steve was right. Um, Probably, yeah. I mean, our family room is in pretty decent shape. Probably could use some new furniture. Um, since I had moved the modem downstairs, I had to do some cable management. My wife hates cable all over the place, but I bought a big kit when I was going to put my desk together, so I have all this cable management stuff. And we still had a VCR. I do have some tapes from when my son was younger that I've been meaning to convert, but now the VCR kind of went. But my wife tells me at the local library that they have a machine there. You pop in your tape, you pop in a burnable DVD. And it takes as long as the tape is, but and it's a free service. You can convert your tape, so I'll have to try that, and then I can pull off the DVD and edit, the videos and make another one kind of thing. But I pulled that out. I've had a stereo system that I bought in '91, and I thought it was a decent Kenwood with nice big speakers and that. And like who needs that type of stereo anymore? They're fun to have. Not everything could be digital, not everything could be online because power does go out or the internet goes out. And it's good to have some extra radios. I've got we keep a battery. We have actually a radio, AM, FM weather radio in our bathroom that has a flashlight on it that you can pull it off for emergency uses and that. So if power ever goes out or there's ever a big emergency, like when, our elections are stolen. But a couple of years ago, I thought it might have been the speaker, but it's not. My left channel doesn't work anymore. Well, it's a Kenwood. It's from 1991. I can't remember. I think I might have paid $300 at the time for that and the speakers. I used to have a nice system. I had and I had for a while there, I had a 2-deck stereo cassette player recorder. And then I went and ended up getting I talked about it before, a multi CD player, 60+1, that you could put in jukebox mode, and it would just find the DVDs, or CDs, and go across, and it sounded like a jukebox, and it was just so cool. And I had all my, a good portion of my CDs in there. But then, things really started getting digital, and it was easy to listen to stuff online. So I'd given it to my brother, and I guess it didn't last too long. I had a decent turntable too. I believe that was a Kenwood turntable. Actually, it was from my brother. We had swapped electronics a couple times in our life. And our house was broken into, and they stole it. They stole that. They tried to get the VCR. They got a couple other things, and we were lucky. It could have been worse, but they stole the freaking real cheap answering machine. What the fuck, But anyway, I used to have a nice setup in that, but I've kept the stereo system for a while, but even in headset mode and all that, or you go from, it had you could have 4 speakers system on it. That's stereo surround sound, but you could have had 4 speakers in AB. The left channel doesn't work, and it would probably cost. I'm not good. I could not figure out. I probably couldn't figure out where looked up issues with that particular Kenwood, and there might be. I guess it had been known for bad soldering. I might just have to end up getting rid of it. Looking at buying maybe a newer one, one that has Bluetooth in it and that. And, you know, they all have just FM, no AM. And though not many, my wife still listens to a couple of a certain AM station that's not on FM. If she's not listening to it, if the internet is having problems in that. So, um, I actually fixed the antenna for it on that, so she gets a better, crisper uh, signal for the AM. But yeah, I've had it. So it was made in '91. I think we got it in '92. I thought I had it longer than that, but so 30, 30, just coming up on 34 years that we've had that stereo. So I think it's paid its dues. It's lived its life. Um, I may give a shot at taking it apart before I get rid of it, but yeah, I know Nate, you like to do stuff like that. TD, you know, you guys. I mean, we follow like finite singularity, who probably can do it in a few minutes. I had a friend, the electronics engineer, that could do that. He could take TVs apart and such. He rebuilt a an actual jukebox his son had purchased. Got it really cheap because he knew where to get all the tubes. But unfortunately, we're not. I guess we're not friends anymore. He doesn't. It's been a number of years. He won't return my calls. So it happens. Um, and I know no one else personally close by that do that electronic stuff. And it might cost more to have it fixed than what it costs now, because I think you can buy them on eBay and that for like less than $50. Guess I can always buy another one of those, but again, we're talking about older technology, and um I know you can plug in, you can buy a Bluetooth adapter for those type of stereos that work off the auxiliaries. You plug them in with RCA cables, which I still have. I have quite a few of them, actually. Anybody keep their old electronic stuff, their old wiring in that? Wife's like, why do you keep all this old stuff? Like all the old screws, and I got a kit with all a bunch of screws, but you always run out of a screw, or well, you need to fix something. I got a screw for that. And then for the AM antenna, I just used some speaker wire that I had to make an extender for it. Had a nice loop antenna already that came with the stereo. I just extended it now. Now we get a nice, better single, because the antenna you couldn't move it too far. It was too close to the TV and get a lot of interference. So, um, but yeah, if and then again with the hands, to find, trying my luck, I would get solder all over the place. And I know you don't particularly use a solder gun. You might use one of those hot guns. Is it a hot gun? I don't know what they're called. But yeah, I mean, that's some stuff I've been looking at to do. Got a, the cable management went pretty well. You still kind of see them on the floor, but they're all bundled together now, and I actually have them clipped up against the baseboard. Because I stretched the modem out a little bit. I didn't want it behind the TV. It would be nice and hidden in that, but I think it would block the signal a little bit more. What else? What's been going on with you guys? I've been chatting here for a while. Oh. Oh no, it is him. What is up, DJ 506? How are you, my friend? You had a nice Soul Train show last night. I love that. You're a bit of an electronics guy with the DJ stuff and that. Do you keep any old electronics? Do you play around with old electronics, old computers, old stereo systems? Me, I'm just playing some 80s background stuff today. Used to keep all that shit, but now I've drifted it all. As I get older, I find I want to keep less things. Yeah. Um, it's like a double-edged sword. It's like, I mean, I wish that I kept some things just for nostalgia's sake. Um, that's why I did the stereo. I was just talking about a stereo system I have. Speakers are great. The speakers are still in really good shape. Speakers can tend to dry out and crack. Yeah, you're morbid in your thinking. I just don't want my kids to have to deal with the pile of crap after I'm gone. Yeah. Well, I have four older laptops. They're about 12 to 14 years old that I'm running Linux on that are still good. But after a point, the whole thought that Linux saves old stuff and that is great, but then there's less and less that you can do with it as we move towards the future. And unfortunately, less and less hardware that you can replace stuff in. The laptop I gave my wife was probably the youngest one I have and the more powerful one. The fan went. It was an HP. I was easy to take apart. I replaced the fan on it. Now it's quiet again. A lot of newer stuff, you can't do that. I don't know. I had one friend that still like he had a like 8-track player collection and things like that he had going. But uh, my wife is really she's a declutterer. If it's not been used for a while, it goes. And she um you know we don't hoard, but it's like like to keep some older things. Like I'm having a hard time wanting to get rid of my stereo system and that because it was like uh, first stereo system we bought together and we had money for it and it had some really good sound to it. I know it wasn't rated. I guess now that I look back on the ratings, who looked at ratings back then? Oh, that looks good. That sounds good. I'll buy it. Of course, hindsight, now it's like, oh, I'm not an audiophile. If it sounds good to me, it sounds good to me. But it was nice to have, and I'm like, I want to get rid of it, but I might have to. Um, but yeah, the older electronic stuff, I was saying most, one of my friends on his podcast talked about back in, it was great when I started learning about Linux and found out all the stuff that I can do and all these distributions and all these, all this stuff and all of it mostly free and which is great. But then after a while, certain, laptops just, I know people that are still running 32-bit laptops and desktops and that. I'm like, why? Because I can. Well, I get that. After a while, oh, I'm saving a landfill. Yeah, you're full of shit. You just cheap and you don't want to buy a new. Bottom line, probably 75% of Linux users are just cheap and don't want to buy a new computer. Not that it's easy and cheap to buy a new computer these days, that's for sure. But after a while, like I have one, that laptop is an HP 8440 or 8460, so that's about 14 years old. But I just use it to monitor the stream. I don't do nothing else on it. I have a laptop down in the basement in the family room. Again, it's another 14 or 15-year-old HP. It is running
You
a
are
light
enjoying
version.
Steve's very own live.
Endeavor OS, but I have it and it's running family slideshows. The youngest computer I have, the more powerful one, I gave my wife's little laptop, so she had this. I bought her this many years ago, an Asus Vivio book. It still works. It's got Windows 10. Actually, it's got the updates until later this year, I think. It's just small and slow, it's got 4 gigs of memory in it and a 64 gig eMMC, which Windows takes up about 85% of it. But although she never saved anything on it, so I mean I could use this for things. And then I have another laptop that I don't even use here that actually I had Windows on it. Didn't get the security updates for it. To get rid of it, I don't have a particular need for it, But probably 85. I'm just going to throw out numbers like our president does. 85% of my media consumption is done on my Lenovo tablet, which touch portal right now, which is working, hasn't blanked out yet. What's going on with Wi-Fi? But anyway, the sound on this thing is just incredible. So between this and my phone, the only time I'm on my desktop is when I'm streaming, pretty much, or when I'm building stuff or making stuff for streaming. My son, multitasker, he's got his laptop. We bought him a nice couple years ago because of school and the software that he needed. We bought him an HP Omen, beast of a machine, so it could run Maya and a couple other 3D software programs that it was required for him to have for school. And he has stuff going on. I mean, he has auto start on almost everything, Discord and Steam and all this other stuff. And then he'll be here, he'll plug into the hardwire so he has good connection. And then on the desktop, since I have the 3 monitors, he'll have Chrome open up on each monitor and 3 or 4 tabs on each Chrome.
You are enjoying Steve's very own live.
What's up, Andy? Wie geht es Ihnen? Was tun wir leider? So I don't use my laptops anymore. I mean, it's just like they're bulky and all that. And this is a great tablet, but it sucks on Wi-Fi. It just does. I kind of ignored that was probably the one complaint, but I went for it for the sound system. It's just like It's is it like a Bang Olufsen type stereo system on here? You just came home from the gym, Jim. Let's see. I'm trying to be fancy like DJ 506 with his streams. And I'm like, you know what? He's got all, you know what? I can add another, um, let's see. I want to make the icons bigger. Let me go back to this one. Scale equal to. Because I use Social Stream Ninja for my icons, my emotes, my emote wall. Okay, that should work a little better now. I scaled them up.
You are enjoying Steve's very own live.
So, Andy, what's going on in your neck of the woods? Things going well in Germany, things going bad. Autocorrect is strange. I went to type ha and autocorrect it to bay. There we go. Now they're floating up bigger. I got bouncing and floaters. Don't you hate floaters? They're hard to flush down. Oh. You have no idea? You did not follow the last week? God, I don't know. For my mental health, I'm not on a lot of platforms. Um, I do Blue Sky. I haven't been an X for like months. I should just close my account on X because that's a cesspool of villainy. What do they say in Star Wars? But anyway, I'm on Facebook. Got my family and all that. But Facebook is so pissing me off. Zuckerberger is such a, you know, he must be, this whole Epstein thing, I don't want to get into that, but the ads. Why do the ads have to be as big as this, the posts from your family and friends? And then it recommends people that I don't even care to know. And a lot of soft porn, I'm calling it soft porn from Instagram, from the girls, and I don't particularly mind it, but Facebook is supposed to be kind of family friendly. This girl got banned a number of years ago because she took a picture and the way her arm and then the picture was taken almost looked like a boob. So they like banned her for a nude picture, which wasn't true. Our provincial government just closed all their Twitter accounts because it's so toxic. The we can't let X to them here is over. You got to know what the other side is doing. And it's just so. Why is it so right against left instead of wrong? It's just wrong. But but then Facebook, and I know I post stuff against our dear leader, and that, and then I got friends that post on the right, and I've been accused of having Trump, um, uh, uh, DTS, Donald Trump syndrome, and who can't, who doesn't have it here? It's just crazy. But it's you need to keep up and know what this person is doing to ruin this country. But the more you watch and the more that people just follow still, it was a thing here like don't close your Twitter accounts, so not let the baddies take over the whole thing. So I saw a post the other day. It was over actually on, I actually still use Tumblr. You guys can figure out why I use Tumblr. I mean, it's just a great, picture vlog site. But a lot of, right left stuff been coming in on the feeds and all that. And it's just like, oh. But anyway, seen a post as well on the Green Meadows. But it was a post from actually it was from during the Vietnam War era, and a priest would daily go to this one corner and hold up a sign against the war and all that. And he was asked, do you think you're changing anything? He says, I don't do this just to change anything. I do this so they don't change me. So try not to get, too political, but I get too heated up about it sometimes. It's just like, but hello, Omega Beast. Welcome to the stream. How are you today? How's Brazil today? You had news from your friend Brian. How is he? Is he okay? But no, things are just looking a little hairy here. This whole, probably the worst thing that could have passed. Was it stopped? I thought it passed completely, but I guess it got blocked, or they're doing a filibuster on it, on that SAVE Act. He wrote from the hospital. Looks like he's had surgery and will be back in a few weeks. Okay, as long as he's fine. I hope he does well. So the battle, one of the battle cries here, and all of them stem from immigrants and immigration, that they're all voting, that the left is paying them to vote, and they're all voting. And that, I think in the last 20 years, Republican and Democrat, it's been found that at least 77 of them may have voted illegally. 77. But that's the big battle cry. So the SAVE Act, is again, it really hurts women in voting. It now requires you to have either your birth certificate and a passport. Now, I've never had a passport, and I don't plan on getting one. It costs $130 for a passport. I saw a good thing the other day that passports should be free for this country. But unfortunately, we don't see traveling too far into our future. I would love to, but and I don't know why a wedding license wouldn't go, but you need a birth certificate, passport, something to prove your change of ID. Women change their name when they get married, right? Now, and it's all about voter registration and being able to vote. Well, to keep the illegal people from voting and that's bullshit. That's bullshit. You believe that? See, I'm not getting riled up. All right, let's see. No, it wasn't Lexar that made printers. Our Lexar micro SD cards good. I think majority of your SD cards and all that come from like your memory sticks and that come from pretty much the same place. They're just labeled differently. It wasn't Lexar. We had a Lex something printer. It was a beast. It was the first printer that we bought. Well, I used to have a Matrix printer with my older system, but then we bought a new Lexmark. Lexmark it was. Lexmark. But it worked like shit on Windows 98. It was so slow. It was Lex. It was Lex Luthor. I don't know. Lex Luthor, Lexmark, Lexus, Lex. Lexi Pixel. Get out of here. We're setting off Alexa. That it often my wife will listen daily. My wife listens to these podcasts from the political network, we swing to the left, and they'll have a commercial, hey Google, finally, like this. Cancel. Go to sleep, Gemini. Find Stephanie Miller. That'll be the commercial, and also my phone beeps and my tablet goes off. It's like, or if I'm listening to one of my podcast friends, the Linux what is Leo Linux user group, his podcast, and he'll mention Google, and he'll set off my Google. Oh, I picked out the burning for you, Slurm. Welcome. Hey, Slurm, how you doing today, buddy? Yeah, it triggers my stuff off consistently, what triggers me is Slurm. He makes me sit in my pants. Oh boy. Oh. So, all right, I'm done with political discussion right now. I'm going to get triggered, but I started talking about platforms, that are starting to leave and that. Do I stop posting the stuff? Or do I still not lose me? That's the whole thing. I heard a few years ago there was a Samuel L. Jackson voice for Alexa. I could never find it here in Canada. I think it would be awesome. Yeah, I could see that. Alexa, find me. I ain't finding you nothing, bitch. Look it up yourself. Oh man. The stuff we do for technology, you know. But, we talked about, AI earlier and that, and um uh I was accused the other day of being lazy and using AI slop. I'm testing stuff out. I like to use stuff. I like to learn how to do things and that. If you catch the entrance, I added a here, yeah, I'll show you what I did. Yes, I am. I'm very freaking lazy, and what is wrong with that? So let me bring. So here, this is for like when I kind of talk about StreamerBot and OBS. Here's the coffee Klatch. I had ChatGPT make these. And this is for geoguessing. Does that look at me? Not too much. And then I got one that I had made for Linux. You're hoping that they get everything sorted out on the next release of OBS. I'm on RC1. It's very sluggish, especially the view meter for the audio. I don't know if sluggish. I'm having a little bit of issues. It could be the platform I'm on my Linux setup. Funny thing is, you can almost immediately tell it's AI because AI developed its own style, apparently. Yeah, I mean, yeah, everybody's kind of doing this right now, and that's not right. I'm like, let me try it out. And here, let me think. I left the Linux one on the other system here, so. Where's my, I can't read. And okay. Here's the Linux one. I took it off a certain picture, so does that look like a younger me, sort of? I don't know. But it was really interesting on how it did it and how it picked it out. Could I take away, could you, like not do a lot of the cartoonish stuff? I'm sure. Facebook is horrible with AI. All this AI bullshit. Now this is where I think AI is bullshit. I did it. I wanted to see what it would do. That sweater here, I'll show you the picture I actually took it from. If I can find. I used an older picture of me. This is when I was really first started streaming. See the sweater? I mean, look, and then back and I mean, look at the sweater. You know, they did pretty good with the texture in that. But it did like it created like it had me like like this, but then another right hand coming out holding the mug. So AI does that. But yeah, DJ, the stuff that's not just on Facebook and that, but all the
You are
AI
enjoying Steve's very own
crap
life.
that uh you can tell like it's a bear coming up to a little kid sitting on a porch, and then it was a dog before. Oh my God, or this lion and tiger and bear, oh my. My wife made an AI graphic for my son's birthday that had him in the picture, his brother, and then my wife and me on my ball cap. It had the name DJ Troy. What the fuck? Yeah. Nice that the tux on the left got a nose on its beak. Oh, did I miss that? There goes my RAM prices because Steve's trying things out. Yep, exactly. I'm burning it all. But the stuff on, oh my God, it's just it's just it's fun, but like the on the porn side, or on the adult side, it's just yeah, you got all this stuff out there already, but then you got to use AI to make it better. But you see all these celebrities looks real at first, but then all of a sudden the way the clothes fall off and all that, it's like right away it's AI. Well, DJ Troy is another. It's not as it's not DJ Troy or Troy the DJ or something like that. He's a good character to watch. But yeah, that's where some of the AI that DJ Troy. Thank you, that DJ Troy. See, I'm old. I just forget shit. But they're it's like prevalent. It's just everybody's doing it. I Scout's honor. I can't. Can I do the scout thing anymore? No, I can't. I am not doing porn AI yet. But it's. I guess it was really bad on Grok. Ow. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Nova's gonna. I got that one. Moving on. You're gonna kill me here, Nova. Oh gosh. Oh Nova, you clipped that one just right. We'll just see how that one goes. How you doing today, Nova? Oh my. Almost killed a streamer today. Oh. Oh no, I didn't see that. Did you edit a Polaroid? Yeah. They are not pretty. So DJ, if you haven't watched DJ 506, he's got this thing where if you do bits, you can do a jump scare. I don't know how it's scared, but it's a real loud scream in that, and it doesn't give him a warning. Ah, Oh my. Yeah, Nova almost killed a streamer. Let me do a couple of shout outs here. I gotta do auto shout outs soon. I think I did one to 506, but and my oh my god guy comes up like for 506 and for a cubicle Nate. Hey Michael, how are you? Can't you get anything right? And then Nova Charter. Now, see, I made those. I didn't do those. Check out DJ 506 and check out Nova Charter. You know what? We can also do one. He's not here, but let's see if it comes up. There he is. Oh, gee, look who used AI slap, huh? Nice of you to join us this morning, Michael. How you doing today? I think DJs on Twitch are one of the growingest. Is that that DJ troll? Excuse me. You just shout out all the booby streamers just so you can look at their profile. What are these shout outs? Just random streamers? Actually, two of them are in the stream on Twitch. Nova Charter and DJ 506. It's yeah, DJ's here. Okay. You just and then that DJ Troy, he's pretty good to watch. Alinity is your favorite, you know? Oh, let's see. I have so many favorites. But it depends, you know, if I'm in the mood for a redhead, it's Faith. Or what is it, Alyssa? Or Arissa? Forget her numbers. She's like a kind of a cosplayer streamer. She's Russian. But DJ, all I do is watch you now. But you know, kind of speaking of Discord. What do you think if you have a Discord server about sharing a picture? I don't know about you in Canada there, DJ. You guys might be okay there, for a while. Actually, your favorite female streamer is Sweet Tails. She's absolutely crazy. Keeps you laughing the entire stream. Is that a lot of the more Discord thinks you're 17? But yeah, you know, now they're that they want you to do a picture of your ID with your information on it and of yourself too. I haven't seen anything yet on that, and I won't do anything till I do. I don't know. Novachara says he's obligated to say his wife is his favorite streamer. Hey, of course you are. If my wife streamed, she'd be my favorite streamer. I'm like, you join me one day, and then, oh no, no, I'm not getting online. Oh no, 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 no. Uh, you're 51, but have the mind of a 16-year-old boy. Yeah, DJ, I'm right. I still think that I'm the 17-year-old. I have the body of a 17-year-old, and I was told to give it back before I ruin it. And he's trying to get you in trouble. You're a husband, Nova. You're automatically in trouble. Hello, Res1 Coder. How you doing there? Thanks for dropping in today. How you guys doing? Nice. Building up. Oh, but yeah, this, I I I get the reasoning, but to tell me that they don't have the ability to go in and look at pictures and things that you post. I know I'm young looking for my age. I think AI actually makes me look older. I don't know. Oh, Jesus, DJ. Thank you. I gotta return the favor. Gotta build up my account so I can start sharing the favors. Thank you. Very nice of you. You didn't need to do that. But yeah, I mean, I'll wait till see what goes on with this stuff with Discord and all that. Trying to come up with a platform where people kind of follow you a little bit. Yeah, they had a big data leak. Yeah, everybody's had a big data leak. No one's secure. Slurm can tell you that. Slurm can tell you all the shit that goes behind the scene. It just takes one person, and it is, and no one wants to pay for, everybody wants to be cheap, oh, AI is going to protect us. AI will be my security now too. What do what do you do? I know my Discord channel is not often used. I mean, I go on Discord a lot for OBS, for StreamerBot. I have a lot of people I follow and look for information in that and share stuff. For as many times as we say something offensive or fire off fart sounds, you still continue to visit my channel, so subscribing to you is the least it can do. Oh, thank you. Oh, come on, girl. It's not that bad. It's Skittles. It's Skittles. Oh, the amount of scams that are out there, Rez. I mean, I haven't seen those yet in that, but it's like, I mean, I still can't, thank you for your purchase of 3 years of McAfee or 3 years of Norton's, and it's always this weird $469.15 or something like that. Oh my God. Do you know who John he was Captain Jack in Doctor Who, John going on I'm on his last name. Oh, you read that part when you blew your nose? Yeah, the timing could be off just a little bit. And I do have them on cooldown, so it takes maybe it'll be in a queue and it'll come up in about 60 seconds sometimes. But he was also on the WB the Arrowverse. He was in Arrow. He but he would he why does YouTube keep doing this all of a sudden now? Oh, I'm making a splash now. We're underwater. Oh man, this guy's gonna kind of swim up my ass. Oh my God. No, no, no. Oh, there he goes. He pinched me. Yeah, that's what I should probably do is do a SpongeBob here. I just forgot what I was talking about. Oh, gee. Oh, distraction. Squirrel. I should have, like, try to make a thing of water, shoot out. I can't wait till finite singularity gets done with his particle thingy. Um, oh, you know what? I have to probably take that off of automatic. So I have, if someone replies to DJ 506, I have that come up automatically. DJ 506's command, but it shouldn't be charging anybody for it. And it's getting a little, I thought it'd be funny at first, but it's coming up, it's picking up. Let me take a look at that. Where? Oh, I know where I got it. Okay, let me look at my commands. See, I should just have that come up. No? Oh my God, that's what I got. There we go. No? Okay, what's firing him off? I put it in there. Oh, here we go. Shocked. Yeah. Because I had it in there without the command too. Because I just wanted it to come up. So I thought it'd be funny to have it come up with just the name being mentioned. But you know what? It gets a little annoying. There we go. It's a beautiful sunny day, and I chose to go into the basement to turn on my computer and tinker with OBS. Guess I'm turning all my key lights to 100. Yeah, it's nice and sunny so far here today, and we're at a booming 47 degrees Fahrenheit so far. But I think we're supposed to have some pretty bad, it's 2C, It was 53 or 54 yesterday, and I didn't go out at all. What was that Friday? Friday, I did work on my garage a little bit. Clean up my workbench. I don't know if you guys, I have a workbench in my garage, and as I do stuff over, you know, because you don't want to stay out in the freezing cold in the garage. We don't have any heated garage. And I just leave stuff on the, I'll put it away later. And then it all starts to pile up. So I was cleaning that up the other day. There we go. Fix that a bit. -4F4C, -4C there. Okay. I'm like, how can I get my emotes to float and flying around like DJ? I'm like, oh wow, I just add another, you know, I add the floating parameters to it. Yeah, I saw him go live. Yeah, he goes live. Everybody's watching him. Nice 50 degrees by you, Michael. Nice. Yeah, it's still February, but I think we're supposed to get some nasty weather coming up. Because at one point I heard, oh shit, we're supposed to get to 58 today, 64 tomorrow, 67 by Wednesday. Holy cow. We got some good weather. Well, I can get out and get walking again. I can't stand walking in the cold. You usually see him on his secret. He's got a secret account. Nutty needs a secret account. What's up with that? Oh my God. Perfect. Beautiful. Nice. Nice. Maybe open the windows in the house. Our house is so, I don't know, we got to get one of those um removes the dust and that from the air. Yeah, if DJ knows it, it can't be that secret. Unless, you know, like DJ's part of the secret handshake club. He got initiated in the nutty secret handshake club. I mean, no, that, sorry. I hate when it does that. Actually, I don't, but let's see. Am I in the mood for emo music? Here we go. Just for you, DJ. I think I got this is supposed to be Canadian rock. I'm like, can rock? Oh, Canadian rock, because Tragically Hip is supposed to be in here now. With all the girly shout outs. Nutty with all the girly shout outs? Nutty? But yeah, so if you're on going back to Discord, are you worried about that? Does it matter? I mean, I was doing Telegram for a while, and you know, like only certain people got on there, and that I got to realize that not everybody likes to visit me. I don't know why. Probably if I did better content, if I didn't do AI slop. But anyway, I'll deal with that, I guess, when it comes up. I think there's more. I mean, it's scary that, you know, they're asking for this information. They had some big data leaks, right? But who doesn't have a freaking data leak? And then our own government going after our own data sources the whole shit about the big balls and Doge and all that shit was just to get just to get our information. You're 51, you data leak all the time. Wait till you get to 69, dude. It'd be like, those Depends are starting to look pretty good right now. You see the documentary on Telegram and deleted your account afterwards? Yeah, I mean, it kind of sucks that you have to have your phone number in with Telegram. But Andy, the only thing to do is just totally stay offline. And even then, I mean, Telegram guy is a bit crazy and too close to Russia for my taste. Yeah. But like, where do we go? Where do we go? I mean, we can't. Many of us. I mean, I'm slowly monetized, and thank you again, DJ. And Andy and those that have subscribed on Twitch. I'm not monetized at all. Never been on YouTube. I don't get the views to even remotely want to do that. I guess I can set up something. I don't know. But to pay for websites and all that, and even then, those that might self-host can probably handle the security in that, but a lot of us can't, or don't have the time, or it's a little bit too much. What other platform do we set up to have our followers and subscribers come and leave comments or check us out or something like that, I mean, most streamers also do Discord. Yeah, everybody, you got to just decide for yourself. You can't. It's either your choices are um, not signing up for everything and then losing out, I guess, FOMO, right? Or you just stay offline and you just not do anything with a computer and a phone. And I get Google, yeah, my phone track and all that, but then I don't, you got to watch out for the apps. I don't download a bunch of these apps that are out there. Um, uh, my bank app, but then that could be, an issue. And I don't, I don't do Facebook on my phone. I don't have that installed on my phone. But where will you get your girly pics? Well, you do have Mrs. DJ 506. She's not the. Uh, yeah, but she doesn't like you like you like her. But I do have the hots for your mom. No, I didn't say that, did I? Oh gosh, that was terrible, 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 terrible. Bad boy, bad boy. You can punch me. Oh. So, outside of, I'll ask you, DJ, because it's you are a big streamer and you, you have a good following. You I know I haven't joined your Discord. You won't let me, but anyway, no, we became friends. Uh, is there anything else that you use to stay in touch with your group? Now, I heard some, or the someone commented that you're barely in your Discord anyway, so why even go there? But is there a platform you also use to stay in touch with, your followers or that, or a place to have them go and all that? Because that's the thing, I have um the Discord, and it's really hard, and I do Blue Sky. I'll put stuff on Blue Sky, um, not with any regularity. I'm on Telegram. I was doing a Telegram thing for my stream, but then um it it was getting like to post something that on everything. I have a friend that he posts the same message on every freaking platform that he's on. That there's a couple platforms on Telegram. He's on several. I know he's on more than me with some of the Telegram groups, but he's on a couple Telegram groups. I know he does stuff on Mastodon. Um, he's got Facebook and all that, and it's the same message he posts on all of them. If it was more easier, you got 4 messages auto-modded today here on this, or oh, I see. It doesn't show up on the wait. Oh, you know why? Because the word viewers. There we go. It doesn't show up on the streamer bot chat. There you go. My Discord is mostly say cheese and jump scare photos. Live streams is mostly how I stay connected with the viewers. Okay. That might have been Siri bot because because of the message that got me get more viewers if it's got certain stuff in it. Where's I can find, oh, there we go. Oh, Jesus, because of the other one was because you had put in the word dickhead. But I know it's too late to do that one. Oh, I'll have to look at that. So what's for dinner today? I don't know what I'm gonna make today. I made I did a good Polish stick to your ribs meal. So I made Polish dumplings. like my mom used to make. Basically, very simple recipe of you can use mashed potatoes, like leftover mashed potatoes, or you mash up some fresh potatoes, flour, egg, some salt, mix it up, make a dough out of it, roll it out, cut it into pieces, boil it, and then fry it in butter and breadcrumbs. I haven't done that. I've made dumplings before, but I haven't. That's how my mom used to make them. My mom was Polish, second generation. My dad was first generation Austrian. So we had got a good European food in our house. A lot of stick to your ribs. Now you're getting really hungry. And I made a chicken. I made a chicken and dumplings, but I didn't do the dumplings in the chicken broth and that, in basically chicken stew. And what's good about the recipe, Andy, is because it's the same recipe that you Italians use to make gnocchi. So I froze half the recipe, and I told my wife this week I'll make gnocchi. I'll make some. I do pretty decent on a fresh marinara sauce with Italian sausage. And then all you do with the gnocchi, you don't fry it up afterwards. You just boil it and that. I like certain I don't like the real thin, almost like the matzo type dumplings. They're fine but they fall apart really quickly in broth and that. Oh, just in time we stopped talking about you. Now Andy got me on talking about food. I was talking about the um Polish dumplings. Yeah, my mom, you grow up. I don't know about now, but back in the day when I grew up, mom only had time to make one thing for, a meal, right? And there wasn't this, well, I don't like this, so everybody makes, you make something for everybody that they don't like, which is, oh, it's their space, it's their thing. Your wife wanted to give you some hot sauce. I still have 21 hot sauces, little bottles. My son actually finished two of them. He mixed two of them together when I made chicken nuggets the other day. But I'm a boomer. Back when we were kids, my mom actually had to go back to work. She, my dad, had some opportunities and never took them. So, we had to do a double income for the family. There are four kids. And a lot of times our dinners would just be like scrambled eggs and baked beans, kind of like what they have for breakfast in England. That would be our dinner. We didn't think nothing of it. Actually, would every once in a while I'll go, I'll make some scrambled eggs and have some baked beans with it. Or my mom would do the dumplings because, she always made mashed potatoes. Never after the dry, not a fan of beans. Oh man, beans are, awesome. Um, uh, a lot of times it would just, oh, thank you. Yes. Just thinking about beans. Um, uh, Dinner would be what we could afford and what we had, and a lot of times she would make the dumplings, but like when she would make mashed potatoes for dinner, if we were having whatever, it would usually be cube steak. I don't know if you can get cube steak anymore, but it was like meat, very tough meat that was run through a machine that kind of like doesn't chop it up, but puts slices in it to tenderize it a bit. A lot of cube steak. We would have a lot of chicken legs, and that paprika chicken and stuff like that. But she would make these dumplings, and oh my God, there was, just we were used to them. And at times, she would do the fry them in the butter and that, and then sprinkle them with sugar. Or she would take plums and make these huge, huge plum dumplings, the size of like a baseball. And I remember my brother-in-law coming over when he first started dating my sister, and he was a steak and potatoes man, and my mom made these dumplings, and he like looked at her like, this is dinner, this is dessert, because then we would sprinkle some sugar on the plum and that. But even he said after my mom passed away, I miss your mom's plum dumplings. You grow up eating what mom made you. It's not like we go out to like now we go out to three different places. If we don't like each other's food, we don't go out often. We go out twice a month. Sometimes a little more, but on average twice a month. Otherwise, I cook. I find new ways to cook. My wife's the baker. She will cook. She does most of the breakfasts. The only thing my mom couldn't make it was um Chinese food. That's something Polish people get. I don't know. But I experiment. I like trying stuff. And sometimes it comes out. I think I still can't make I still can't make a good steak. That's the problem here. No one eats the same thing. Yeah, we allow it. Oh, we don't want to. He's got food this and food that. I understand that. I'm not saying everybody should eat like we used to eat. Because at times it did suck. There was stuff that. But if you didn't eat, you'd go hungry because mom wasn't making any more. But that's when we learned how to cook. I mean, a lot of times I ate grilled cheese. I was an expert. At 13, I was an expert at making a grilled cheese. Just the right amount of butter, just the right amount of golden toasting, good old bad for you American cheese. I remember it was during summer vacation with school, and I'd be up late. And one day I was making a late night grilled cheese, and my dad had been up late watching TV, and he comes in the kitchen, leans on the door frame. What you doing, son? What you doing, pal? Oh, I'm making a grilled cheese. Oh, just staring at it. Would you like me to make you one, Dad? Sure. Here I am at 13 making my dad a grilled cheese. But also because, my mom had worked, she had to go back to work. So we all kind of learned how to cook. We were latchkey kids. What is it? What you call it? I think our front door was never locked back in the day. And we grew up on the south side, the far southwest side of Chicago. I could tell it's getting warmer. I don't know why, I don't think there's much allergy stuff in the air, but the dust isn't really bad in our house. My son doesn't always, I make him a pizza almost every night. He's 30 years old. But it was funny. Like my wife would, her mom worked a lot too, and she would make sure that everybody would kind of eat. The kids would eat, and that just her and her daughter or her sister, sorry. And but when we were out shopping one day, and okay, then I'll have to make the food myself. Poor Andy. Get your son, is your son there? You can't go, hey, what you doing, pal? Um So we would, we were out shopping one day, and she's like, "Is there anything that you would like and all that?" I said, "I don't know." She goes by the frozen section, and I don't know. You guys probably don't know this. Are you okay? Can you kind of it should be relatively easy to set up, DJ? Hopefully. Um, so there was this brand that was called Genio, and they had frozen chicken breasts. Or no, I'm sorry, take that back. It was a frozen rolled turkey breast, but it was all like the final bits of turkey that was left over from whatever else they packaged up. And it was compressed and rolled, and then had, I guess, some flavorings in it and that. And she's like, "Yeah, I remember my mom used to make these all the time. I used to love these." And then we brought it home and we made it, and it's like, this shit was horrible. We couldn't eat it. Like, we ate this as a kid. You don't know better as a kid. You either grow up to go, man, my mom was a great cook, or you go up as, my mom didn't know what she was doing. Now, my mom was a good, if it was like Polish or European, like I said, her dumplings, her paprika chicken, stew, um, uh, hello, Lady Lyra. How are you today? You like that shirt? I drink coffee and know things. So we'll go, "So what do you know?" I go, "I don't know. I didn't have much coffee today yet." And I'm starting to run out of coffee a little bit here. I'm doing fine. We're just kind of talking about, I'm talking about my mom and, food and, how she used to make stuff. And, but yeah, like all the European style stuff was like out of this world. My dad, I've never gotten a taste for it, but you guys ever heard of mush? Cornmeal mush? He used to, my dad, I know there's a homemade way to make it, but from, I forget what grocery got it, would be a brick of cornmeal mush, kind of grits, yeah, I guess. And he would either fry it up or he would warm it up, but he would eat it with his coffee. He would take a spoonful of the mush, dip it in his coffee, and eat it. I don't know if that was an Austrian thing, but my dad, I think he would grill once in a while, but my dad never cooked. My mom did all the cooking. And then as we grew up, we learned how to do a lot of cooking. But yeah, like I said, if it was, it was pretty well on, but again, a lot of times dinner would be, it would be at the end of the budget, and the shopping didn't go that far, and there wasn't a lot. It was always canned vegetables, and oh, I started talking about making her dumplings. It was she only once in a while made very fresh mashed potatoes. It would be the box of or Ida or Ohio or Iowa, I don't know, Idaho um, flakes. And she would make the mashed potatoes there, but she would use the leftover mashed potatoes to make dumplings with. Idaho. But I don't know if my aunt, because my sister, I was talking about this, and she goes, "Oh yeah, that's what our aunt used to make." Uh, as far as if it was like Chinese food, it would be all canned stuff. So you can still see it in the grocers here. Like Chungking was one of the name brands. So it would be the bean sprouts, the watercrests, mushrooms, whatever. And she would make rice, and it was all these cans of stuff put in a pot with a small bottle of soy sauce all poured in. And then the stew meter, it used to be cube beef that we used to get from the butchers back then. They don't cube it like this anymore. You remember Chungking? And then she would brown some beef and toss it in there. We ate it. Now I think I'm a pretty decent cook. I'm not great, you know. I would never have a half-star restaurant even, but you won't starve with me. I know how to make Chinese food. It's one of my favorite. I work on like between Chinese and Japanese. I do pretty good on an egg roll. I do. I do pretty good with an egg roll. I've learned how to make egg rolls. But this would, because of the almost whole bottle of soy sauce, not the tall bottles, but it was, you know, we will get this 6-ounce bottle, I think, was so salty. But I do a pretty good fried rice. In fact, my son doesn't like rice, but he likes my fried rice. Look, Picky was talking about egg rolls the other night. I could totally go for an egg roll right now. Yeah, egg rolls are so good. Lady Lear has learned so much about Chinese food from best friends in China. I love going to a Chinese restaurant. I love sushi. I stopped mother. No, I won't eat fish. And it's fun. I do eat. I'm not a big fish eater. I like shrimp and crab, lobster. Depending on the fish, you know. Like real fresh with the bone still in it. I get the texture issue in that. My brother loves that stuff. He would go fishing all the time. Catfish is real. Oh, fried catfish is out of this world if it's done right. Just had a big bowl of sea chowder about 20 minutes ago. Mom sent me down a container. Ooh. Chowder for breakfast. There you go. Nova Charter just had the closing of the Lunar New Year dinner with your wife's family yesterday. Oh, yeah, I bet you get a lot of good stuff. But stir fry, I do pretty good on stir fry and all that. It's one thing I had to improve on. I'm not making Chinese food like my mom did. Other stuff, yeah, it would be great. We have in our small town, we have it's relatively popular. It's called Four Seasons, TL's Four Seasons. It's Japanese and Chinese, and they have a couple of special chefs that I supposedly there's some dishes there that you can't even get in Chinatown. You walk in there and it's just like, oh my, like that cartoon dog that would float after smelling the bone, and their portions are pretty. That's one thing about Chinese too. The portions are pretty good. A large portion will last you a couple of days easily. Now I'm hungry. What am I gonna? My wife is making breakfast. I'm usually a very boring breakfast. We have oatmeal, and I'll usually have cranberries and apple, cinnamon in my oatmeal. My wife adds uh, some seeds and some nuts to hers, and blueberries. And then we have blueberries, grapes, oranges, apples, and grapefruit, and a couple slices of bacon with that. That's our pretty much daily breakfast. Doesn't change too much because it's simple, it's easy. My son, no, he doesn't eat oatmeal. He's like, what do I want to eat that shit for? Like, but once in a while, I'll do waffles, or I got a recipe for a um oatmeal wheat pancake that is extremely a banana oatmeal wheat pancake. So of course you need oatmeal, you need some wheat flour, and a very mashed up banana. Um, Egg, um, a bit of a baking powder, salt, and some vanilla. And between the oatmeal and the wheat, it makes a very thick, hearty pancake. Oh, and with the banana, you don't need that Canadian stuff. Here we go. Here's a good tune, DJ. These guys rock. Such a shame about the lead singer. But trying other foods and that, you know, I've tried food from India, Pakistan, Afghanistan, because I've worked with people from there. Um, there's certain spices I can eat, like jalapenos like crazy, a lot of hot sauce and stuff like that. But there are certain like spices that are used in like Indian food and that don't sit on my stomach right. But one thing I do love, and I don't know if it's particularly Indian as much as it might be Pakistani, is biryani, and chicken biryani and rib tip biryani. Um, One of my pharmacy techs used to make that for me quite often, or make it and bring some in for me with the jasmine rice. Oh, that was so freaking good. Oof, Indian level spice is a whole journey. Yeah. And then I this one assistant that I was pretty good friends with for a while. He was Indian and would bring me stuff and that, and um those it was kind of made out of potato with a spice, and they would fry them triangularly into the toilet. I'll try. If it's put in front of me, I'll try stuff. And I think one of the things that we have in this world, we unfortunately, outside of a lot of hatred, samosa. Thank you. Right. Those were pretty good, depending on how they made them, though. Um, Food. Food is a great journey. I often like to ask someone, if what would you, as an American, a white American, what would be your food that you would introduced me to. You know, it's always a a good topic of conversation. We may hate each other, but we love each other's food. DJ 506 to the toilet. And that's part of the journey. Good Mexican food. Oh, I love a good black beans and rice. Oh, either it could be black beans and rice or it could be red beans and rice. So it could be Brazilian style black beans and rice, or South American style black beans and rice. Or it could be Cajun style down in New Orleans, red beans and rice. Frijolada. Yo, God, we went to a Brazilian steakhouse. We took my son for his when he got his fourth degree black belt. That was his treat. Texas de Brazil, it's called. Oh, the black beans and rice they have there. Oh, that I made some the next day for home. But red beans and rice, oh, especially Cajun style. I'll do the Cajun trilogy. You know what the Cajun trilogy is? Nothing's made unless it's got onion, green pepper, and celery. That's the trilogy. And then add garlic to that. So fry up some onion, green pepper, and celery with some garlic. Saute it a bit, and then add your red beans into that. And then either add add your spice of choice. Usually, could be cayenne pepper. It could be a hot sauce on top of rice. Oh my God, that is sounds very Latin. Yeah. You start a lot of your meal with that combo. Yeah, and then I put together like my own barbecue spices. I look online. I'm like, what sounds good, and I'll mix it all together. And I got a pretty good, nice spicy barbecue spice that I use. But then, yeah, I love a good Cajun. I'll make a version of I'm going blank. I'll usually do chicken breast and don't often get Angele sausage, so we'll use smoked sausage. Um, yeah, going blank. See, I'm lack of food, going blank. But yeah, I do. I like to cook. I like to experiment. Um, I make my own salsa. Yeah, I use canned tomatoes in that, but salsa, and it's just a simple salsa: jalapenos, onion, cilantro. Love cilantro. Some lime juice and salt in a blender. Do my own um guacamole. But barbecue is something you really miss from the States. I almost cried once when I tried collard greens and dry rubbed ribs in Kentucky. Yeah, it's amazing how much we hate immigrants, that we eat so much of their food, or our food is inspired by immigrants. The comedian George Lopez since one you like you like Mexican architecture, you like Mexican art, you like our Mexican dogs, you like our Mexican food, you love everything about Mexico but the Mexicans. Go down to Texas and you have their Tex-Mex, which is pretty popular around. South, you got barbecue, you got dry rub, you got wet rub. Do you like dry? Do you like wet? I prefer my ribs dry. But every once in a while, I'll take since I have this container that I'll fill up once in a while. I'll make my barbecue dry rub, and then what I'll do is I'll take some ketchup, some mustard, a little bit of mustard, ketchup. I think I add a little bit of vinegar to it, and I kind of heat it down and add the if I want a barbecue sauce, I'll kind of make my own, and I'll coat it on ribs. No, I'll coat it on actually pork chops. Well, I make pork chops with some pork. How many are hungry right now? I should do a cooking thing one of these days. But yeah, and like how many? Probably still a lot of guys out there that don't cook. Their mom did everything for them, so their wife has to do everything for them. What's the old saying? Give a man a fish, he eats once. Teach a man to fish, he eats forever. I'll never be hungry. I don't have to wait on my wife to make me something to eat. Uh-oh. Nova, that you? But I also know women that don't like to cook or don't cook well. They just cook because they feel like they have to. And it's the same thing every week, every Monday, every Tuesday, every Wednesday, every Thursday, every Friday, every Saturday, every Sunday. It's going to be the same type of dish, every Monday, every Tuesday, every Wednesday. And I'm not for that. DJ 506 is eating peppermint Aero chocolate bar. I don't use my soundboard enough. And now the tablet's been fine for the last hour or so. I was having problems with the tablet. But yeah, I do. I like to experiment, and sometimes I fail miserably. Was that loud? Did that come out too loud? What was that? I forgot I redid my sounds from StreamerBot and that. That one was low. I guess some of the sounds I got set up kind of low. But yeah, I like and sometimes it'll take me for hours. I'll do breaded fried chicken breasts. That takes forever. There's a couple ways to do it, but we have a deep fryer that will do. But yeah, I do. It's just I think it's a way for me to relax and try different stuff. But I still, every once in a while, the last steak I made that I know was really good was a number of years ago. Um, not to get into any detail, we used to, well, my mom had passed away and things like that. So Christmas Eve, we did less traveling at one point, and we were going to actually spend this first Christmas Eve with just the three of us in a long time. And my wife asked my son, "What do you want?" He goes, "I would like," and he was younger then, "I would like crab legs and steak." Crab legs are easy enough. They just need to be steamed, right? Steak. My wife had gotten a nice ribeye cut. Ribeye can be a very expensive meat to get. Very fatty, but that what makes it really good. I looked at a bunch of recipes and came up with this Alton Brown recipe. And it just took minutes to make. It was the best. I can never duplicate that. And it helps to get very good cuts of steak. We often don't. We often don't have steak in our house. It's just because it's expensive in that. It's mostly chicken and pork, sausages, stew meat. Found a good way. Stew meat's like usually very tough unless you do it in a crock pot or um a pressure cooker, what are they called? One pot, I forget. Again, forgetting the names. But I use it's like it's old Chinese secret. A little bit of baking soda and just a little bit of water, and you just toss the meat in it, and it breaks down the fibers in the meat. You made an Alton Brown Bloody Mary the other day. It was incredible. We'll forever make them that way now. I started talking about my guacamole. So my guacamole, I don't know how anybody else makes their guac, but mine's pretty simple. But it's a combination of an Alton Brown and Rick Bayless recipe, where I cut out the avocado and toss it in a lot of lime juice, and then I sprinkle in some cayenne pepper and some cumin, and then I chop up. I mix it and then I mash it. But I don't mash it like really fine. I leave some chunks in it. We like our guacamole a little bit with a little bit of chunks in it. And then I add chopped up jalapenos, onion, and cilantro. And that's it. That's all I do. And sometimes it comes out so freaking good. But like you buy avocados, they are hard as a brick. If you don't pay attention, they will be soft as mush before you know it. But I'll make we usually get a bag of about 5 avocados, so it makes a small kind of bowl. An avocado, you can't let it sit because it will brown really quick no matter how much lime juice you put in it. My wife will go, "You're not expecting to eat any of this, are you?" A lot of lime is actually a very important part for guac, yeah, because one, it adds the flavor to it, but two, it keeps it from browning. Because once it hits it's like it's worse than apple, and you have to eat that in like a day or two, or else you can't touch it after that. It's just so bad. Trick is to help avoid browning. Say if you want to transport guac somewhere other than lots of lime. Oh, you got the Windows notification working? Good. You're using something help made by AI. Now, see, I heard that the putting the seed, the guac seed back in, that really, I've tried that. The avocado pit, right? Because I know there are like some Mexican restaurants where we gotten guac from before, had it in there. I think it actually just kept because they would put a couple of them in there, and that way they wouldn't have to put a lot of guac in there. But I've never had success with it really lasting long with it. I read that that really doesn't do anything once it's out, once it hits the air. And that one, I think that you should actually put a coating of lime, not just mix it with lime, but if you're going to put it in a jar and cover it, you can have it sealed. It will still brown because of the air, but you have to have a thin coating of lime on top of it, and that will preserve it a little bit longer. But yeah, we go through either we eat it in 2 days, or after a week we're throwing it out because it's brown so much. And then I do it's kind of a mix of a Spanish rice. I think it's more of a Puerto Rican version, but I'll take a can of chopped tomatoes, put it in a blender, and add garlic and onion to it, and puree it. I'll take rice in a pan, and I'll fry some of the rice. No, not cooked rice yet, but you fry some of the rice in oil to brown it a little bit, and then add the puree, and then like a cup of or so of chicken broth. But that's how I make kind of like my Spanish rice. And we don't get a particular, we get this. It's a kind of a long grain, but it's that it's a quicker cooking rice. It's Uncle Ben's. No, I'd love to have jasmine rice, but sometimes jasmine rice can take forever to cook. But yeah, I try to cook a lot of different things. And I have a charcoal grill. I don't have a gas grill. So like the winter times, I don't do any grilling out. Although with the weather today and tomorrow, I might do some grilling out there. I, I usually put my grill away for the year, but I didn't this year. But but yeah, now I'm really hungry. But anyway, well, I think I might call it a day now. It's been great. I'm hungry. I'm glad that's working for you, DJ. But I have fun trying to make that stuff. So, my highlighter here, that's all. That's HTML, CSS. Um, the little icon I get from I forget what I made this with. But it adjusts to size. Let's see. There we go. See, adjust the size in that. The icon should change, but I don't know why it's not. I think I have it to where wait, let me Dice Bear. Dice Bear is the place I get. Weird name for a setup, but um It's unique avatars. It's free. Um, you can add all these styles. Oh, they got some new ones here too. But you can add all these icon styles to your setup. I think right now I'm using this fun emoji. So it will come up with, I use this personas for a while, and you could switch it out real easy. And you just put it in your code and it reaches out to here. Like if you wanted, like if you were into these. But I can use the one from I can use the one from Social Stream Ninja, but I thought I'm going to make my own. And yes, I did have AI help me with it. But now I can edit it and all that myself. So I don't use it enough. I should use it more.
You are enjoying Steve's very own live.
Yeah, I don't like it, just random. I don't, but I think sometimes it's set up to where it will be the same icon for that person for that, for every message. So sorry. I don't have it set up. I guess you can in a way, but I just it's random. Like if I here for DJ, what does he get? He gets a crying emoji. It's all part of the fun. But yeah, that and then the notification one, they're all made out of the HTML kind of stuff. So oh my God, I don't know if you heard that. My stomach's growling. What does that say? I'm in danger. All right, my two things of icons or emote. I call them, keep calling them. I guess they are icons, emotes. I'm like, I didn't just like the floating one, and I don't like the little leaf that falls. I see a lot of. I think you use that, don't you? Um, Lyra. Do I have a raid target? That is one thing I am bad at, raiding. I don't usually. I mess it up every time. I could try to raid out. I forget what to do with you. I mean, YouTube gets lost, I guess. But you suggest DJ Margarita Mel. I've met her in your stream. Let's see. Let's see. Because I screw up every time I try to raid. Um, there she is. All right. How do I do this? I do start raid. All right, we're gonna try this. Oh, that would be the easy way. I used the raid button. Is that right? Or I didn't. Let's go back. Let me try it that way then. Okay. So / space, then username, / raid. Oh, do it in the chat. It's way easier. See, this is one thing that I'm really bad at because I multi-stream most of the time. All right, let me try this again. Put her name in, DJ Margarita. Margarita Mel. So do you usually do a message first? Or just start raid? What a loser I am, I'll tell you. Once you type the / in the chat, you'll see all the commands. Okay. Well, I did. I went in I did the raid button in the YouTube, the stream. Yeah, I could talk in the Twitch channel. All right, I have it to where I can start the raid. Do I put a message in first and then start raid, or start raid and then message? Or does it matter? All right, we're gonna follow DJ's suggestion and follow and raid DJ Margarita Mel. I should actually probably bring it up on thing because I can't hear it up there, so I don't know. Does it matter? You know what? Here, I'm gonna bring up because I can't hear her if I do this right or wrong. Let me close this out. That's what I get. Let me bring up Twitch here. I've got to listen to myself. All right, so we're gonna try it. So here we are. That's up right. So I'm gonna go to raid channel. DJ Margarita Mel. And for certain audiences, but that's okay. No, I don't want to knock. That's what was showing up. I couldn't read it up there. And then, all right, we're gonna raid into DJ Margarita Mel. And then I'll move out of. We'll try this. I gotta get better at this. I keep getting things on Twitch. You haven't rated in a long time. I think I've rated one person because I always screw this up. All right, here we go. Let's start the raid. 2 viewers ready to raid. I don't want to cancel. Okay. Oh, see now I can put a message. Okay, DJ 506 made me do this raid now. Did that work? He's not paying attention. All right. Okay, so I'm going to head out. Where's my... There we go. All right, so let's do it with me. I want to thank Cubicle Nate, Codewhat TD, Bongo for rating me, DJ506, Andy, Omega, Slurm, Nova, Michael, Rez, Lady Lyra. Thank you for joining me today. I appreciate it. Check on Tuesday. We're going to be doing some streaming on Linux again. I did something with sound in that I can hit my voices in. So we're going to look at that. So everybody take care. Have a good day. Enjoy your Sunday. I hope this raid worked. Hi.